Hello, this is Dr. Tay, and today's episode is on food coloring. There's been a hiatus on the YouTube videos for a little bit. I was in Mexico City traveling, and I was trying to buy some herbs to bring back. And one of the things I brought back was hibiscus. I made a video about hibiscus tea, and when I was there, I was like, wow, they have it in bulk here. So I decided to buy some, and I'm gonna drink some today. So here's my tea in a pot, and I hope I don't make a mess. It's got this nice red color. And no, this is not the red 40 or the red 3 or whatever red that is out there in your food, right? That causes all these like bad things in your health. And we're going to go over that today. So happens to be a natural food coloring from hibiscus. And I don't know if I can show you this. Yeah. Making a mess here. I believe that everyone in the United States should be drinking this for the main reason that it does not have the food coloring. And of course, people in South America, they add a lot of sugar to this, which I don't. I just like it for its raw taste. In fact, I'm really beginning to enjoy it since I've gotten back. I've been drinking it every single day. And I have to say, my mind's a little bit clearer from drinking it. All right. Now, this is from the foodrevolution.org. I believe this is, I think, Food Babe. I'm not sure. They go over 11 foods that we should all stop eating as Americans. And the big problem is the FDA. And I don't want to sound political, but Robert F. Kennedy is now part of the Trump administration, and he has a slogan called MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. And he's talking about a lot of different topics about vaccines, fluoride in the water, etc. So I'll be covering all these videos. So hit that subscribe button and make comments below, and I'd be happy to answer them. And there's some frustrations on the American end that we need to catch up to the rest of the world, especially the European Union as well as other countries. Is the FDA really there to help us or make these chemicals not be in our food? Are we behind? And I believe the answer is yes. Now, I don't want to talk about extremes, but a lot of healthcare providers, some, not all, are anti-vaccine, anti-chemicals in our food, and it all goes back to the father of modern medicine, Hippocrates. Do no harm, right? And people who have really embodied this, they don't want fluoride in our water. They don't want chemicals in our food. And what does the other side say? They usually say things like, well, if it's in small amounts, it's okay to be in your food. In fact, we ran all of these tests that in small amounts, it's okay. But considering the fact that my 10-year-old has been eating Twizzlers behind my back because it's filled with sugar, and I told my wife, hey, the red dye, that this thing causes cancer. And she's like, oh, let her be, let her be a kid and all these things. And like my 2 cents gets brushed aside, right? So she's still a kid, but I'm going to be showing her this video when I get a chance. And now, if you look at the fries over here, in the fries in the United Kingdom, it's got potato, vegetable oil, sunflower, rapeseed, dextrose, etc. But in this country, we have canola oil, corn oil, soybean oil, hydrogenated soybean oil, natural beef flavors, dextrose, sodium acid. We got all of these chemicals. And why do we have all of these things? And are they beneficial to us? And it seems like the FDA is allowing a lot more chemicals in our food than it needs to be. And I saw a video recently about Robert F. Kennedy and somebody being critical. I don't know if he was a healthcare provider or not. And I don't remember the exact quote, but the guy was saying that, these chemicals or fluoride is okay in our water, that is good for, certain things, and it's got health benefits and all of these things. And I'm like, man, who is this guy sponsored by? And okay, back to this. If you look at this photo, all of these ingredients here from soda is high. These are not like these processed foods are not good for your kids. They cause like severe or they aggravate ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. A lot of these food colors affect the thyroid and it causes cancer, right? So, are these fun treats really good for your kids? I think not. Banned ingredients in other countries are blue 2, yellow 5, and red 40. If you ever had a blueberry muffin, the blue 2 is in there. And that's really bad stuff. To enhance the food colorings in certain foods, and basically, it risks numerous conditions like tumors, hyperactive activity in children. What's more infuriating is that the US used to use natural food dyes until the mid 19th century. But then food manufacturers realized it was much cheaper to use chemicals, which turned food even brighter colors. Wow. So I think there was a profit motivated um, aspect of it. Okay, here's a good picture. A mom concerned about, shopping, reading the labels, right, at a supermarket, right? And one of the first things that comes up is titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide is a chemical that is commonly added to American foods, but many people do not recognize the name because it is usually hidden on nutrition labels. Terms like artificial color or added color may mislead you into consuming titanium dioxide without even realizing it. Foods containing titanium dioxide can include all of these things and other processed food. It is banned in the European Union. There is some research connecting titanium dioxide to health effects such as lung cancer. However, additional research is needed to determine this relationship more. All right. Now, the big story is red food coloring. I'm going to drink some. If you skip the video in the beginning, then no, I'm not drinking red food coloring dyes. This is actually hibiscus tea. I think there was a guy with glyphosate. He was saying like, "Oh, glyphosate is not bad for you. In fact, I'll drink some right now." And then he thinks about it. And he's like, "No, I'm not going to drink it because you know how bad it is for you." All right. Red 3 and cancer. Into 1990s, the FDA regulated red 3 causes so much cancer in these lab rats. They decided to remove it from lipstick and other things. And red 3 is a carcinogen in the 1980s, and the federal law requires that FDA prohibit the use of any cancer causing color additives. At the time, the agency promised to remove red 30 from food supply as well, but met with pressure from the maraschino cherry industry, which uses the color additives to keep their canned cherries red. For 33 years, the FDA has failed to keep its promise and uphold its duty to remove this carcinogen from American foods. Now, Robert F. Kennedy, making America healthy again. Will he be able to navigate through all the mess of the bureaucracy? Will his experience as a family in the political arena be able to change this factor? Personally, I think it's a big win for America if we are able to bring down a lot of these chemicals. In fact, if you ask like 9 out of 10 parents, of course they don't want it into children. Of course they want to have a Twizzler looking red candy that their kids love, that they're happy to share to their parents and children, giving it out as Halloween, gifts and all of these things without these tagalongs that are really bad for your endocrine system, all of these things. And I mean, it's right here. It does cause cancer, right? And I think there's been a lot of petitions to the FDA, but they still haven't gotten it. Why? Why isn't the Food and Drug Administration not getting rid of these things in our food that, especially that our children are eating? Considering the fact that we have so much things in our food supply that are not healthy for you from child. A meta-analysis is you look at all the food coloring research out there, and it takes like a whole team of reviewing all of these things, and they create a data. And what they found out about is blue 1, 2, green 3, red 3, yellow 5, yellow 6. Citrus red 2, red 40 can trigger many behaviors in most kids. Artificial food color usually contains petroleum and is manufactured in a chemical process that includes formaldehyde, aniline, hydroxides, and sulfuric acids. Most impurities in the food color are in the form of salts or acids. Sometimes lead, arsenic, and mercury may be present as impurities. The US FDA is yet to study the effects of synthetic dyes on behavior in children. A study conducted at Southampton University in England found a link between food dyes and hyperactive behavior in children. The research does not prove that food coloring actually causes autism spectrum disorders, but there seems to be a link. Wow, that's a lot of verbal jujitsu jargon over there to try to confuse people. Basically, there is a link. There is a strong link between autism spectrum disorder and food coloring and hyperactive disorder. But not only that, a lot of these food color causes these bad things, but they're also oftentimes estrogen mimicking compounds, and they affect your reproductive system. Once again, endocrine disruptors, developmental problems, cancer risk, and so forth. So this video is really trying to push to you that these food colors are not good for you. And the best way you can do is one, stop buying them and stop feeding your children around them and stop making these bad excuses to tell yourself that these things are okay. Because if the FDA is not there to protect us, in the end, you can only protect yourself. Um, I think I heard this from a Terminator movie. If you're listening, you are part of the resistance. All right, until the next episode, take care. Bye bye.